Hey, everybody who's watching this. What I'm going to do is go over this question, but the expectation is that you copy it down, write it in a notebook or somewhere that you can go back to a week, a week from now, 2 weeks from now, a month from now. If you see a question similar to this, you could refer back to this question by looking at your notes. But we're going to be, as your teachers, we're going to be looking for whether you wrote this down clearly, not just like quickly, but clearly, so that anybody could follow along. So with that said, let's read the question. So in the diagram below, right? So this is a diagram, right? Something that's being drawn. So that in the diagram below, triangle ABC. This is triangle ABC. Triangle ABC, right? So that triangle right there is ABC, such that AB is 16. So this length, the length of this line is 16 units. And the length of this line is 15 units. And the length of this line is 13 units. That's what's being said here. All right, so I'm gonna erase the markings. Triangle DEF, that's this triangle, is also drawn such that DE, which is this side, is 2x minus 1. So we don't know the exact length yet of this side length, but we know that it's represented by 2x minus 1, which is an expression. So let's keep reading. If triangle ABC is mapped onto triangle DEF after a clockwise rotation of 90 degrees about point P. So I'm going to change that, but we're telling you that triangle ABC is mapped onto triangle DEF. What does that mean? So let's take some notes. So if one triangle is mapped on to another triangle, the corresponding angles and sides must be congruent. What does that mean? Okay, so we have ABC is mapped onto DEF. So this means that angle A must be congruent or the same as angle D. Angle B, and notice the order of the letters. A comes first, D comes second. D comes first, pardon me. So A and D matches up. So angle B must be congruent or the same as angle what? If you said E, you're correct. And then last but not least, angle C must be congruent or the same as angle F. And I forgot to put the A, but just make sure you pay attention to the order of the letters. So C is last and F is last, so they have to be congruent. So similarly, so these are for the angles. Same thing for the sides. So AB must be congruent to DE, right? AB are the first two letters. That's side length AB must be congruent to side length DE. Similarly, BC must be congruent to what? If you said EF, you're correct. And then last but not least, AC must be congruent to DF. Yes. If you said DF, you're correct. All right. So this is important. So we're going to use this to help us solve the question. So notice they said if the measure of angle A is 40. So let's just write that in. So this part or this angle is 40. The measure of angle E is 62. Okay, well, these are two different triangles. So let's try to use this information to find more stuff in one of the triangles. So we know that A must be congruent to D. So if A is 40, this angle right here is 40 degrees. Which other angle must also be 40? If you said angle D, you are correct. So angle D must be 40. So we can write 40 right here. All right. Similarly, if angle E is 62, which other angle must be 62? So let's look at where E is. E is right here. E must be congruent to B. So B must also be 62. So we can write 62 right here. So the question asks, what is the value of angle C? Well, this shape is a triangle. One question you want to ask yourself is, how many degrees are in every triangle? And if you said 180, you are correct. But at the very least, if you walk away from this course, you have to know this fact. It's like a Snapple top fact. Like, you have to know there's 180 degrees in every triangle. So if this is 62, right? This angle is 62 and this angle is 40, and all together they must add to 180. Let's go ahead and find angle C. All right, so I'm gonna give you, if you want to pause the video, but you should be working on this question. So I'm gonna give you guys maybe about another 15 seconds. If you want to pause the video, pause the video. All right, so we know that 62 plus 40 plus some number, let's call this y, right? Plus some number y must equal to 180. So this is just an algebra question at this point. So we can add these two. So that's going to be 102 plus y equals 180. So you just, think about it in this way, right? 102, you got $102 and you need a specific amount to get to 180. What is that amount? Well, one way to figure it out is by subtracting 102 on both sides to get y by itself. And y is going to be equal to 78. All right, this cancels, and you could use a calculator at this point, but the answer for this question is going to be 78 degrees for angle C. All right, so now we're going to find x. All right, so I'm going to erase a lot of this stuff so that you're not too overwhelmed by what you see on the screen. All right, now we're going to find angle x, not angle x. We're going to find the value of x, whatever x is. We're finding that value. So we're going to use kind of what we did earlier. We know this is where x is, and this represents DE. DE is congruent to AB. So whatever this side is, DE, it must be the same as AB. So we can set up an equation. So the equation will look like 2x minus 1 equals 16, right? Because once again, this is DE, and let me put this above. This is DE, and that has to be equal to AB. So we're just substituting what we know. So at this point, we can add 1 on both sides. We're doing algebra right now. So add 1 and add 1. We're trying to get x by itself. So, so this is going to be 2x is equal to 17. And then at this point, we're going to divide by 2 on both sides. So let's, I'll just do it by hand. So we're going to divide by 2 and divide by 2. And why are we dividing by 2? Because this is multiplication. 2 times x, that's multiplication. 2x is 2 times x. So we're going to do the opposite of that, which is division. So this is going to cancel out, and x is going to be equal to whatever 17 divided by 2 is, and that's going to be 8.5. So at this point, all you're doing is well, first off, this is 8.5, and you're going to put the answers in down below. All right. Thank you guys for watching this video. Now you're going to use this to do the question on the next one. And there's not going to be any video for that. You have to follow the same exact steps that you did here, the same concept. The numbers are going to be different, but the process is going to be the same. Thank you guys for watching.